Hi, my name is David. This is my third visit here to the job center. Those first two meetings went much better than I expected, as far as these types of things go. Oh, something concrete that I got out of those first meetings is this. Sophie calls this my resource plan. It's pretty comprehensive, as you can see, which can be a little intimidating, but it's also reassuring. You'll see what I mean. Hello.
Good morning.
My name is David Thompson. I've got an appointment with Sophie Zawitowski.
Well, certainly, Mr. Thompson. Let me give Sophie a call and let her know that you're here, and you can wait in our lobby.
Sophie's title is Disability Resource Coordinator. Wendy, my WIA case manager, introduced me to Sophie last week. I think she's kind of like a pit crew chief, working behind the scenes, make sure all the people from the different agencies and programs, there are a lot of different agencies and programs. Anyway, Sophie makes sure that all the people from the different programs helping me get a good job, get off disability benefits, are all on the same page, working well together towards the same goals. It's pretty great, since they're all working for me in a way, and I'm really the one in charge at the end of the day, since it's my employment goals we're all working towards.
Okay, I'll let him know. Mr. Thompson, Sophie's on her way back to get you right now.
Hi, David. How are you today?
I'm good.
Come on back.
My oncologist says that everything still looks good, knock on wood.
And how's Jonathan?
He's good. He's, he's a teenager.
You mentioned that you were a single dad. That has to be challenging.
Yeah, we've been through a lot together. He's pushing the boundaries a bit lately. Overall, though, he's a really good kid. I just have to get him on a track with a plan for his future. I mean, he's 17 already. I suppose it could work out well now that he sees me getting some real traction, getting back in the workforce after all my health issues.
Well, that brings up a good point, David. After we talk about your open ticket to work with vocational rehabilitation, I thought we could talk a bit about some resources that might be available here to help Jonathan.
That would be great.
And how are you doing with your resource plan?
Good. I think I got started on all the items that you and Wendy identified as first steps.
Great. Tell me about it.
I made a list. I make a lot of lists these days. Let's see. Oh, I found out who my new vocational rehabilitation guy is, Robert. And I told him about working with you and Wendy. And I went in and signed the release papers so that you and Wendy could talk to him.
Excellent.
Well, I called the Certified Social Security Benefits and Work Incentives Program, spoke to that guy, George. He said he talked to you.
Yes.
And I told him about working with Wendy and said that I would sign a release form so that he and Wendy could communicate about anything related to my benefits and employment plan. Oh, and I asked him about the Medicaid buy-in program like you suggested.
How did that go?
It's complicated, but we scheduled a meeting to talk about it some more.
It's good that you're doing all this. I can't emphasize strongly enough how important it is that you understand the impact of work on your benefits and how you can transition off benefits in a way that is supportive and that truly meets your needs. There can be a lot of fear about moving off benefits, and you're right, it can seem complicated at first, second, even third glance. But there's so many incentives available and supports too that can really make a difference in your ability to work at a higher level, make more pay, work more hours, even get back into benefits easily if that's what you choose to do, and so on.
I definitely plan on paying close attention, asking a lot of questions, taking a lot of notes next time I talk to George. Oh, something else I did that was in the resource plan is I went to a job search basics workshop. After I finished that workshop, the trainer told me about a few other workshops that would build on the basics that we covered. So I scheduled a couple of those.
Which ones?
Resume 101, which will be good because I haven't written a resume in a while.
Right.
Online job search.
Okay.
And building your social network, which I understand is less about having fun on Facebook and meeting new people and more about making sure that your social profile is not something that employers will be turned off by, and that you can actually use your social contacts to help in your job search.
I'm very familiar with all those trainings, and I think they sound great.
I also went to the training application workshop. Wendy suggested that. And I learned about Department of Labor Green Jobs training program that's here too. And I found out that some of the companies involved in green jobs need delivery drivers, and there are on-the-job training opportunities for customers with my background.
That sounds very promising.
And then I called Wendy to set up my WIA eligibility meeting for next week.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thanks. Well, getting through this has definitely kept me busy. I understand that being found eligible for WIA would be pretty significant.
Wow, that would be a pretty good score to get into the WI intensive or training services. And as for all the hoops that you've been jumping through lately, I often tell my customers to think of the process of getting a job as your job. Sometimes your job can be challenging.
That's a good way to think about it. My job is to find a job.
You've been making some very good progress towards that goal.
Well, I certainly would have been a lot more lost without you and Wendy. I mean, Wendy laid everything out so clearly, and you made this resource plan for me based on my specific interests and needs while I was sitting there, handed it to me at the end of the meeting. It was like, here's your plan. That actually felt pretty great, to have something tailored to me instead of some photocopied checklist that you just hand out to everyone.
I'm glad you felt that way. We take a lot of pride in tailoring our approach. Plus, it doesn't tend to be too effective to give out generic one-size-fits-all advice. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we talk about your ticket?
I don't think so.
Let's talk about your ticket to work with vocational rehabilitation. So even though your ticket is currently in use with vocational rehabilitation, there'll come a time after you've been working for 90 days when your VR ticket will close.
Now wait, I'm confused here. Why are we talking about something that's going to happen 90 days after I get a job? I don't even have a job yet.
Well, good question. First, I feel confident that if we make use of all of your available resources, you'll have a job in the not-too-distant future. Still, you'll probably benefit from having access to some ongoing follow-up services and supports that would be available to you through your ticket to work if it's assigned to an employment network that can provide long-term services past those first 90 days of employment.
But I thought you just said that my ticket will close after 90 days with vocational rehabilitation.
Well, not to worry. At that point, your ticket will be available for assignment through another employment network.
Could you guys take my ticket here at the job center after Voc Rehab closes my case?
Yes, we can. Although there are other employment networks that could provide services to you as well. I suggest you hold off making any decisions concerning the assignment of your ticket until you get a clearer idea of what services would most benefit your plan. I just wanted you to know that no matter what, a smooth transition is possible.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Let's talk about some resources that might be available to help your son, Jonathan.
Great. I have got to get him into something. I mean, he quit school before getting his diploma, which I think he now regrets, since getting a job in this economy for a kid without a diploma is practically impossible. I don't know if he should get his GED, go back and finish school, get some training for a job, or what.
Well, not to worry. We have many possibilities.
And to be truthful, between his ADHD and his other learning issues, I don't know will work.
Okay. The Job Center WIA Youth Program might help Jonathan re-engage in school, either back with his high school or through a GED program. It might be able to help him with some individualized career exploration activities, which have training funds available if he's willing to work on developing a plan that used them and led to employment.
That sounds great.
Now, there is an eligibility process, so I can't guarantee that Jonathan will be enrolled.
Oh.
But I'm willing to talk with the program and let them know that I can work with them around his resources, especially anything around his learning disabilities, and working with Jonathan to provide any reasonable accommodations he might require in working with us or getting accommodated by school, the GED program, a training provider, or an employee, whatever it might be.
Like what you're working on with me, then?
Ideally, just like that.
Oh, well, okay.
Here's the contact information for the WIA Youth Program. Jonathan can drop by the Job Center anytime to fill out an application and start the eligibility process.
Can I go with him?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have to get to the pharmacy before 5.
Sure. One last thing, you mentioned that you called Wendy to set up a WIA eligibility meeting for next week.
Yeah.
Is it all right with you if I go to that meeting too, in case any resource questions come up?
Are you kidding? Yeah. That would be great.
Okay, David. I'll see you then.
Vocational rehabilitation, the Certified Social Security Benefits and Work Incentives Advisor, 4 job search workshops.
And in the training application workshop that you suggested, they told me about some green jobs, and it sounds like some of those companies need delivery drivers, and there is on-the-job training that I could be able to access based on my background.
Yes, I see that here. That sounds like it might be a good fit if you're interested.
Well,
Well, okay then. Let's get you a meeting with a case manager in that program.
We could actually call them now.
I already called. I have a meeting later this week.
He's way ahead of us. Great. So, Sophie and I were talking, and we think you could benefit from an integrated resource team.
What's that?
You seem eligible for a number of placement training and support services through WIA, VR, the Ticket to Work, the State Certified Social Security Benefits and Work Incentive Programs, and Wagner Pfizer. If the decision is made to move forward and enroll you in the WI Intensive Services, I'd be available to assist them in getting all the partners together in an integrated resource team, an IRT, so that they can collaborate on a strategy to realize your employment goal.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so. Could you break it down for me a bit more, just so I'm really clear?
Not to worry. Let's go again. Each of the resources that you're eligible for have a person assigned to your case. So an integrated resource team just means that we get all those people in a room together so everyone knows what everyone else is doing, and then we put together a plan that works for everyone with the goal of getting you a good job.
Got it. So who makes the decision about whether to enroll me in a more intensive program? Was it WIA?
It is WIA, the Workforce Investment Act program. And ultimately, it's my supervisor. But she usually goes along with my recommendation.
What do you need me to do?
Nothing at this point. Based on the work that you've already done, your obvious commitment, and the fact that Sophie can provide support, I'm going to recommend that you be enrolled.
Nice. Thanks.
You're welcome. But you still got some work to do on your resource plan. Meet with the Certified Social Security Benefits and Work Incentives Advisor about the Medicaid buy-in. Meet with the Green Projects training program. Attend your job search workshops, and see if Jonathan can meet with someone at the WIA youth program.
That resource plan just keeps on growing, doesn't it? But I'm motivated. Bring it on.
That is why you are such a good candidate for the integrated resource team. You really are motivated, and you've shown that with your willingness to tackle these issues. Let me prioritize these next steps for you to make it a little easier and more manageable. First, make sure you go to the meeting with the Green Jobs Training Program case manager. That's number 1. You've spoken with him on the phone, yes?
Yeah, Bruce is his name.
Number 2, you're meeting with a Certified Social Security Benefits and Work Incentive Advisor about the Medicaid buy-in.
George.
Oh yeah, and while this isn't on your resource plan, don't forget to see if you and Jonathan can meet with someone at the WIA youth program.
Okay.
Be sure and tell his case manager that you're working with me and that they can call me if they need any help.
Great.
And finally, make sure that you keep attending the job search workshops here that you've signed up for.
Yup.
So just take them one at a time and you'll be fine.
Our next steps will be to follow up with your case managers to schedule a time when they can all attend an IRT meeting here in about a month.
A month?
Yes, it'll probably take that long to get everyone's schedule to line up. It's a pretty big team. Plus, you have a number of things to get through on your resource plan before we meet.
Sounds like I better get moving.